Today on Forbes, happy birthday Warren Buffett. He's 95 and one of 36 American billionaires over 90. Warren Buffett took a seat on stage at Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting for the 60th and likely final time in May. He wore a red tie that matched the two cans of Coca-Cola in front of him, one cherry and one regular. Buffett has joked that his longevity is tied to his diet of McDonald's, Coke, and Dairy Queen, all companies in which Berkshire has invested. While his voice was raspy and he hunched over a bit, the Oracle of Omaha was as sharp and unfazed as ever, answering a question about recent market turmoil. In front of a crowd of some 40,000, he said, quote, "What happened in the last 100 days is really nothing. The day I was born, the Dow Jones was at 240. That was August 30th, 1930. Between that and the low, it went from 240 to 41. He went on to say that if people worried about whether their stocks went down 15%, they needed a, quote, different investment philosophy. Then, at the very end of the 4+ hour-long meeting, he dropped a bomb. Buffett announced that he'd retire as Berkshire's CEO at the end of the year, nearly 6 decades to the day from when he took control of a small, struggling textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. The announcement came as a surprise to even his key lieutenant, Greg Abel, who was named Buffett's successor in 2021, but didn't know about his imminent plans. The fact that someone as rich and successful as Buffett, he's been on the Forbes 400 list of richest Americans every year since the first list in 1982, and is still the 10th richest person on the planet despite having given away more than $64 billion, chose to work for decades after the average American's retirement age might strike some as crazy. But there are plenty of other octogenarian and nonagenarian billionaires who, like Buffett, would rather work until the day they die. The oldest American billionaire, George Joseph, is still working at $5.5 billion in revenue Mercury General, the insurance company he founded in the early 1960s. A flight navigator during World War II, Joseph stepped down as CEO at age 85, but still owns 35% of the publicly traded company, and mans the controls at age 103 as chairman of the publicly traded firm. He is the only American billionaire over the age of 99. Media giant Rupert Murdoch, who is 94 years old, stepped down as executive chairman of $8.5 billion in revenue News Corp almost 2 years ago, ceding the title to his son Lachlan, but continues to have a large presence at the company. Altogether, there are a record 36 American billionaires who are 90 and older. Another 150 are in their 80s, including former Victoria's Secret CEO Les Wexner and former New York City mayor and Bloomberg co-founder Michael Bloomberg. It's impressive given that the U.S. Centers for Disease Control says the average life expectancy in the U.S. is 78.4 for all Americans and 75.8 for the nation's men, who dominate the billionaire ranks. Overall, only 3.8% of the U.S. population is 80 or older, according to the 2020 census results, compared to 20% of American billionaires on our list. Why does a larger percentage of American billionaires seem to live past 80 than the U.S. population overall? There could be a lot of reasons, including the fact that wealthy people can afford the best healthcare, personal trainers, and freshest foods. One billionaire who passed away in June at age 102 was pretty certain why he lived so well for so long. David Murdoch, the longtime majority shareholder of Dole, one of the world's largest producers of fruits and vegetables, was a strong advocate of plant-based diets and ate only fruits, including banana and orange peels, vegetables, and fish, having publicly stated his aim to live to 125. For full coverage and to see the list of America's 10 oldest billionaires, check out Martina de la Cosa's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.